Apples, pumpkins, spinach, celery, water spinach, fish sauce, MSG, coarse salt, bitter melon. Got any of that? The clear, melodic call of a young woman rowing a boat along the river echoed through the air, prompting everyone in the houses along the bank to rush out, shouting excitedly. Yes, yes, ma'am, pull over. I'll take a liter of fish sauce, quick, came a response. The girl's sweet, resonant voice, unmistakably that of a Western Riverlands native, answered back, all right, Aunt Clara, hold on a sec, I'm pulling in now. As soon as her boat nudged the riverbank, a crowd swarmed around her. The chatter mixed with the creaking of boats was enough to make your head spin. Some bought vegetables, others grabbed squashes or pumpkins, keeping the girl on the boat darting back and forth, selling goods until her head was in a whirl. Yet, through it all, a charming smile never left her lips as she served each customer. For anyone from the Western Riverlands, the sing-song calls of vendors on the river are as familiar as the water itself. That unique chant, unbroken and flowing from the bow to the stern, listing every fresh vegetable piled high, is something you'd be hard-pressed to find anywhere else but this web of rivers and canals. The call is so ingrained that even kids memorize it, mimicking it in their games, competing to see who can chant the longest without stumbling or breaking the rhythm. As the crowd dispersed, only one customer remained. The girl asked, Aunt Clara, what do you need? I'll grab it for you. Oh, heavens, I've been waiting for you forever. Aunt Clara exclaimed. You're selling like hotcakes, so I stood back to let you finish. My legs aren't what they used to be, you know. One wrong step, and I'd trip and be off to meet my ancestors. Yes, ma'am, the girl replied with a chuckle. So, what'll it be, Aunt Clara? Get me some fish sauce and a pumpkin. I'm making soup for the kids tonight. Coming right up. Though exhausted, the girl flashed a bright smile as she stepped into the boat to fetch the items. Moments later, she returned with a bottle of fish sauce and a pumpkin, neatly packed in a plastic bag, tied securely, and handed it over. Let's see, fish sauce, 20 cents, pumpkin, 8 cents, totals 28 cents, right, Aunt Clara? That's a steal. Cheap, huh? No wonder you're selling out. Aunt Clara teased as the girl took the money, tucked it into her pocket, and grinned. Then, as if remembering something, the girl turned back. Oh, Aunt Clara, please don't call me little one like when I was a kid anymore. It's kinda embarrassing. Just call me Lily, okay? Goodness, getting shy now, are we? Aunt Clara laughed. I've called you little one forever, and it's stuck. Calling you Lily feels so formal. Anyway, I'd better head inside to cook for the old man and the kids. If Simon comes home and there's no dinner, he'll have my head. See you, little one. Aunt Clara, you're too much. Lily called after her, shaking her head. Aunt Clara's hearty laugh echoed as she disappeared into the house. Lily sat at the bow of her boat, catching her breath. She grabbed a bottle of iced water, took a long swig, and let out a satisfied ah as the coolness soothed her parched throat. Smiling softly, she picked up her paddle, ready to row on, when a voice called out, Miss, wait a moment. Lily turned to see a well-dressed young man, slacks, tucked-in shirt, clearly not a local, running toward her. She paused and asked, Yes, sir, what would you like to buy? I want to buy, the man began, but before he could finish, another young man clapped him on the shoulder and cut in. This fool. People are rowing miles to sell their goods, and you're holding her up like this? When's she supposed to get home? Lily covered her mouth, stifling a laugh as she recognized the second man, Ethan, Aunt Clara's son, who'd just bought from her earlier. Ethan turned to her with a friendly grin. Sorry about this, Lily. This guy's got a condition. Stammers every time he sees a pretty girl. No worries, Ethan, Lily said, chuckling. I think it's kind of cute. When do you get back, Ethan? She added. Since you're here, how about I toss in an extra pound of sugar? Your mom forgot to grab some earlier, so she sent you out, right? And this guy here volunteered to play hero, but then he saw me and got tongue-tied. Lily's teasing made her laugh out loud, a sound so bright it stirred something in Nathan, Ethan's best friend from Willow Creek, where he worked. Lily stepped into the boat, grabbed a pre-weighed bag of sugar, and handed it to Ethan. "Here, 1 pound, 22 cents. Sugar's pricier near the holidays, but you know how it is." "No problem," Ethan said. "Hey, you free tomorrow? Come by the house." "Tomorrow I'm taking Grandma to her checkup," Lily replied. "I'll be back by noon, though. Maybe another day? Come visit Grandma when you're free. I've gotta head out now, or she'll worry." "All right, take care," Ethan said. "Keep selling, and we'll keep buying." With that, Lily pushed off, rowing smoothly toward the market. Ethan glanced at Nathan, who was staring after her, completely smitten. Clapping his friend's shoulder, Ethan teased, "Lost your soul already, huh?" Nathan snapped out of it, scratching his head with a sheepish grin. As they walked, he nudged Ethan. "Who's that girl? She's stunning." "You're hopeless," Ethan laughed. "That's Lily, raised by her grandma, Mrs. Rose, who's over 70 and frail now. Lily's been an orphan since she was little, lost both parents. Grandma Rose used to sell with her, but her health's declined, so Lily runs the boat alone. They lean on each other, living simply, vegetables when they've got porridge when they don't. They're happy, though." Ethan shared more. He and Lily grew up close, their families tied by distant kinship. His grandparents' house was next to Lily's, so he'd often visit, playing or eating meals together, sometimes staying until dark. Nathan listened, his heart softening. Having lost his mother young, he knew the sting of loss. Lily, having lost both parents, stirred even deeper empathy in him. The next morning, Nathan dragged Ethan out of bed early. Still groggy, Ethan mumbled, "What's with you, Nathan? It's barely dawn, and you're pulling me like I'm a sack of corn." Nathan grinned, slicking his hair with gel. "Didn't you say you were visiting Lily's grandma today? Let's go." "When did I say today?" Ethan groaned. "I said when I'm free. I'm taking Mom to the market this morning." "Already handled," Nathan said, smirking. "I waited till your mom left for the market, then woke you up. Get ready, I'll be by the bike." Nathan vanished, leaving Ethan yawning on the bed. "Is this guy struck by love or what?" Ethan muttered, stumbling to wash his face. Nathan, ready and waiting, sat on his motorbike, psyching himself up. "Come on, Nathan, don't freeze up. You can't just stand there stammering, or Ethan will tease you for years." Ethan appeared, spotting the bike loaded with gifts, fruits, pastries, the works. "What's this, a marriage proposal?" he joked. Nathan laughed nervously. "Your mom said it's polite to bring gifts. I didn't know what to get, so I grabbed everything people usually give." Ethan doubled over laughing. "Add some betel nuts and rice wine, and you're ready to propose. But, you know Lily's place isn't accessible by bike, right? We need a boat." "What?" Nathan blinked. "I didn't know." They hauled the gifts to a boat, Nathan pestering Ethan the whole way. "Are we there yet?" When they arrived, they tied up at a simple thatched house, tidy and clean. An elderly woman, Mrs. Rose, sat on a bamboo bed, sifting rice with practiced hands. Ethan called out, "Grandma, guess who's here?" Mrs. Rose squinted, her vision blurry. "Who's that, now?" Lily, tending a fire out back, heard voices and came up. Seeing Ethan and Nathan with armfuls of gifts, she beamed. "Ethan, it's you, Grandma." Mrs. Rose's face lit up. "Ethan, my boy. You haven't visited in ages, I've missed you." "Grandma, I'm grown now." Ethan laughed. "Calling me little Ethan makes me wanna hide." "Hide? Show me how." Mrs. Rose teased. "I'm this old and never seen anyone hide like that." The four of them burst into laughter. Nathan set the gifts on the bed, saying, "Grandma, I brought some pastries for you. And who's this? Mrs. Rose asked. My friend Nathan, from Willow Creek, Ethan replied, then whispered something to Mrs. Rose, who smiled warmly. Lily, cook extra rice tonight for these boys, she said. And Ethan, help me inside, I've got questions. Ethan exaggerated a loud, yes, ma'am, for Nathan and Lily to hear, then guided Mrs. Rose indoors. Nathan, left standing, scratched his head awkwardly. Lily brought him a glass of tea. Sit, relax. You didn't need to bring all this. It's nothing, Nathan said, grinning. Just take it, no fuss. Lily giggled, making Nathan blush. They locked eyes and burst out laughing, the tension melting away. At dinner, the four sat together. Ethan asked, Lily, you took Grandma for her checkup yesterday, right? How'd it go? All good, Lily said. We went early, beat the crowd. Doctor said Grandma's fine. Nathan sat quietly, afraid he'd stammer if he spoke. Mrs. Rose turned to him. How old are you, Nathan? He took a deep breath. Same as Ethan, 2 years older than Lily. Only child. Ethan nudged him. What's with the short answers? Trying to stay single forever? Nathan glanced at Lily, then Ethan, his throat tight. Mrs. Rose, sensing his nerves, said, Lily, grab some chilies from the garden for me. Yes, Grandma, Lily replied, heading out. Nathan's heart slowed. Mrs. Rose continued, just you at home, then? No siblings? Yes, ma'am, Nathan said, more at ease. Good, no inheritance fights later, she nodded. What do you do? I help my dad with the fruit trade, driving deliveries when we're short-handed. Solid work, Mrs. Rose said. Got a girl you like? Not yet, Nathan started, but I'm fond of Lily. He stopped as Lily returned, stammering again. Mrs. Rose chuckled, letting it go. Come back often, Nathan. My house may be humble, but you're always welcome. The meal ended warmly, and Nathan and Ethan promised to visit again. As they left, Mrs. Rose asked Lily, what do you think of Nathan? He's nice, Grandma, Lily said shyly. Just nice? Mrs. Rose teased. He's smitten with you. Grandma, we've only met twice. Lily protested, blushing. Your grandpa and I fell in love at first sight and married. Times change, but love doesn't, Mrs. Rose said. Lily ran off, embarrassed, as Mrs. Rose called after her, I've got my eye on that boy. Lily, hearing every word, fidgeted with her shirt, smiling at the memory of Nathan's warm grin. Humming a folk tune, she grabbed a bucket and headed to the well. Mrs. Rose reached the river's fork, her arms aching from battling the fierce current. Struggling to stand and push the boat forward with her paddle, she suddenly felt the boat shake violently, throwing her off balance. Behind her, Phil and Derek were hammering the bottom of her boat with heavy mallets, causing water to gush in. Their forceful blows splintered the hull, and water flooded in relentlessly. Hearing the loud commotion, Mrs. Rose turned and saw the two men destroying her boat. She screamed, "What are you doing? Stop it right now!" Derek, startled by her shout, glanced at Phil. "Brother, why does that voice sound so strange?" "Yeah, it doesn't sound like that girl's voice," Phil muttered. "Oh no, did we hit the wrong boat?" "I checked carefully, hers is the only house around here." Derek paused, then whispered, "That house has 2 people. If it's not her, then it's..." Before he could finish, both brothers realized their mistake. They exchanged a panicked look, and Derek said, "Let's row closer and see who it is." Phil, frantic, followed his brother's lead, steering their boat toward Mrs. Rose's. By now, her boat was nearly submerged, the gaping hole letting water pour in. Mrs. Rose flailed, desperate to stay afloat. In her youth, she could have swum like anyone else, but now, old and weakened by her terminal illness, she had no strength left to save herself. She could only cry out, "Help! Someone, please help!" Tragically, the river's fork was desolate. No houses, no people awake, just an empty dike stretching into the darkness. Her cries, no matter how loud, went unheard. The two villains had chosen the perfect spot for their crime. As the boat sank completely, only Mrs. Rose's frail frame bobbed above the water. She heard the sound of paddles approaching and saw the same two men who had attacked her boat. Their faces were pale with shock. Mrs. Rose, gasping, reached out her thin arms, pleading, "Please, save me. I can't die like this, my granddaughter needs me." Phil and Derek rode past her, watching as she struggled. Phil muttered, "We're done for, Derek. It's not the girl. What do we do now? Should we save her? Are you crazy?" Derek snapped. "Save her so she can turn us in? But we can't just watch her drown," Phil protested. Derek's face hardened. He weighed their options. Leaving her to die would make them murderers, but saving her risked her reporting them for destroying her boat. His final decision was cold and ruthless. If she lives, our crime gets exposed. If someone claims we meant to harm her, we're finished. We have no choice, she can't survive. Mrs. Rose, exhausted, begged, "Please, save me. My granddaughter is waiting." As the brothers hesitated, her trembling hands gripped the edge of their boat, pulling herself up to gasp for air. "Please, I won't." Before she could finish, Derek grabbed a paddle and struck her head and forehead with brutal force. Dazed, Mrs. Rose's grip loosened, and she sank beneath the water. The ominous premonition she'd felt for days had come true, and her final wish, to see Lily married and happy, would never be fulfilled. "What did you do?" Phil shouted, horrified. "You killed her." Derek turned, furious. "What was I supposed to do? She was going to die anyway. This way, she'll never talk, and we're safe. If anyone finds out, we could face execution for murder." Phil, trembling, stammered, "But, what if someone knows?" Derek laughed maniacally. "Who's going to know? It's just you and me. I won't talk, you won't talk, so who's left to tell?" "Stop worrying." Phil nodded reluctantly, still shaken. He dipped the blood-stained paddle, tainted with Mrs. Rose's blood, into the water, washing it clean. The brothers rowed home, slept soundly, and acted as if nothing had happened. That night, a fierce storm erupted, with thunder roaring and rain pouring. Amid the downpour, it sounded as if someone was screaming for help, but no one could hear the eerie cries. The rain continued until dawn. As the sun rose, its rays pierced through the gaps in the tattered thatched walls of Lily's home. The light woke her body aching from the fever that had plagued her the night before. She'd fallen into a deep sleep, unaware of time passing, her head pounding like a hammer. Dragging herself up, she looked around the house, calling, "Grandma? Grandma, where are you?" Seeing no sign of Mrs. Rose, Lily muttered, "Where'd she go? Maybe she saw I was sick and went to the market to buy something nice to cook for me." Convinced that was the case, she shuffled to the bamboo bench outside to wait. Suddenly, she heard an engine approaching her riverbank. A woman stepped ashore, and Lily smiled weakly. "Aunt Clara, what brings you here so early? Sit down, let me make you some tea." It was Ethan's mother, her face pale and frantic. She rushed to Lily and asked, "Lily, where's your grandma?" "I got a fever last night and passed out," Lily explained. "When I woke up, she was gone. I think she went to the market to buy something for me to eat while I recover. She'll be back soon, Aunt Clara." Aunt Clara's expression darkened, her heart burning with dread. "No, Lily, it's not that. Your grandma's in trouble." "Trouble? What happened?" Lily's voice trembled, her composure crumbling. "Tell me, Aunt Clara, what's wrong with Grandma?" Aunt Clara gripped Lily's shaking hands and recounted the morning's events. At dawn, she'd gone to the river to buy goods from passing boats. She overheard women from the river's fork saying a boat had capsized nearby, its owner missing. Curious, Aunt Clara joined others who rowed out to investigate. The boat, riddled with large holes and gashes, had been pulled ashore. The damage suggested a violent struggle or deliberate sabotage the previous night. Recognizing the boat as Lily's, Aunt Clara learned that divers were searching for the owner, and police were investigating. Initial findings indicated the owner was missing, as no body had been found. Fearing the worst, Aunt Clara rushed to check on Lily and Mrs. Rose. Lily collapsed to the ground, her world shattering. In the western Riverlands, every family marked their boats with unique symbols to avoid confusion. She whispered, "No, it can't be. Grandma's fine. She has to be." "Aunt Clara, take me there," Lily begged, her voice breaking. "Please." She couldn't believe it. Mrs. Rose had been healthy the night before. Aunt Clara helped Lily onto a boat and sped to the scene. There, divers were scouring the river for the boat's owner. Lily, heartbroken, clutched her face and sobbed. "It's not true. Even if something happened, Grandma can swim. She can't be dead." She turned to the divers, pleading, "Please, find my grandma. She's still alive, I know it." Her cries were drowned in tears, the harsh reality too much to bear. Others nearby speculated. One said, "Mrs. Rose always tied her sandals to the boat and never wore them. The sandals are still there, so it's her boat. No way they floated away." Lily didn't respond, too overwhelmed. Another person chimed in, "If she died here, where's the body? The current was strong last night, and it rained like crazy. Her body probably got swept away." Hearing this, Lily tried to jump into the river to search for her grandmother, but Aunt Clara held her back tightly. "Who did this?" Lily screamed. "Who was cruel enough to harm my grandma?" Unable to stay calm, she wailed, refusing to accept that Mrs. Rose had been murdered and lost. The fever from the previous night, combined with this devastating shock, was too much for her frail body. She collapsed, sobbing until she fainted. Lily sat on the bamboo bench outside her home, clutching her knees, tears streaming down her face. "Grandma, where are you? Come back to me, please. I miss you so much," she whispered, her voice choked with grief. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the river, calling, "Lily, Grandma's back." Recognizing the familiar voice, Lily looked up. It was her grandmother, but her feet hovered above the ground, not touching it. Mrs. Rose saw Lily's stunned expression and said gently, "Don't be afraid, child. I won't hurt you." Tears poured down Lily's face as she stepped toward her. "Grandma, are you dead? Why aren't your feet touching the ground? Please, don't scare me." "Don't cry, Lily," Mrs. Rose soothed. "Seeing you cry breaks my heart." "Who did this to you?" Lily demanded, her voice quaking. "I'll make them pay." She rushed to embrace her grandmother, sobbing. Mrs. Rose said nothing, only smiled softly and stroked Lily's hair. "Why won't you tell me who hurt you?" Lily pressed. "We've never wronged anyone, why would someone do this?" Mrs. Rose gazed at Lily with kind eyes. "From now on, you're on your own. Live well, Lily. Nathan is a good man who loves you truly. I'd be proud to have him as my grandson-in-law. You two will be happy, and I'll always watch over you, blessing you both. But what about the person who harmed you? Who are they? Why?" Lily insisted. "You don't need to worry about that. In 3 days, you'll understand. Tell everyone to stop searching for my body. I'll only appear when I've finished what I must do. Under my bed is a wooden box with the money you gave me over the years. I saved it as your dowry, so your in-laws won't look down on you. Take care of your health and use that money wisely. Don't grieve or cry, it'll keep me tethered, unable to move on. Someone will care for you better than I ever could." With that, Mrs. Rose stepped back and vanished. Lily chased after her, screaming, "Grandma, don't leave me. Don't leave me alone." She jolted awake, hearing, "Lily, wake up." Aunt Clara was beside her, shaking her gently. What were you dreaming about? You were thrashing and mumbling. It had been a dream. Lily clung to Aunt Clara, sobbing. Aunt Clara, Grandma came back. She was here. You saw Mrs. Rose in your dream? Aunt Clara asked. What did she say to make you so upset? Lily, choking on tears, recounted every word. Aunt Clara listened, astonished. She came to you in a vision, Lily. There's something deeper here. If she said to wait 3 days, let's do it. Nodding, Lily suddenly slid off the bed and crawled to where Mrs. Rose used to sleep. Aunt Clara followed. Lily knelt, peering under the bed, and reached in, pulling out a wooden box. Overwhelmed, she clutched it and wept. This was likely the last keepsake from her grandmother. Opening it, she gasped at the thick stack of money inside, enough to build a new house and buy a small plot of land. Aunt Clara shivered, not from the wealth but because Lily's dream had mentioned this very box. Mrs. Rose had truly appeared, revealing the truth. Though her body remained missing, this confirmed she was no longer alive. Lily trusted her grandmother's words. Mrs. Rose had always been resolute and just, rewarding kindness and repaying wrongs. She'd never let Lily suffer, nor tolerate injustice herself. Aunt Clara comforted Lily, urging her to rest. The doctor said your fever's mild, but the shock has weakened you. Rest to recover, or you'll get worse. I'll handle things for your grandma. We're family, and the village cares for you. You've got Nathan, too. At Nathan's name, Lily hesitated. Does he know? I called him, Aunt Clara said. He's coming back right away. He's worried sick about you. I'm tired, Lily murmured. I need to sleep. I'll let everyone know you're okay, Aunt Clara said, leaving. Alone, Lily cried again. She knew the village was kind, but who had she wronged to deserve this cruelty? She racked her brain but couldn't recall offending anyone, except maybe Phil and Derek. The brothers were notorious for their pettiness. Could they have been vengeful enough to commit murder? Meanwhile, Phil and Derek woke to their mother's loud voice, recounting to neighbors that a boat and its owner had been found missing. The brothers froze, their blood running cold. Found already? Phil whispered. It only happened last night. Seeing Phil's ashen face, Derek hissed, Why are you scared? We covered our tracks, evidence gone. But I can't stop thinking about you hitting her head with that paddle, Phil said, shuddering. Blood everywhere. You're fearless. Derek clamped a hand over Phil's mouth, growling, Shut up. You want the neighbors to hear? One word, and we're all done for. Think before you speak. He made a throat-slashing gesture, making Phil flinch, wondering if his own brother would turn on him. Derek stormed off to wash up, only to discover his prized gold bracelet, worth a fortune, borrowed from a friend in the city to show off, was missing. Panicked, he rushed to Phil's room. Brother, we're screwed. Phil, lost in thought, jumped. What's screwed? Who's dead? Not that. Derek snapped. My gold bracelet, 1 whole ounce. It's gone. Phil's eyes widened. That's over 50 grand. Where'd you lose it? You had it on last night. Phil leaned in, whispering, Maybe when you hit her, you swung too hard, and it fell off? Could be, Derek said. Come with me tonight to look for it. No way, Phil said, shivering. I'm too spooked. Coward. Derek sneered. You can swim, I can't. Remember, I promised to get you a job with me if you help. You want that, don't you? Phil's eyes lit up. Really? Derek nodded firmly, boosting Phil's courage for a chance at freedom. Fine, I'll dive for it tonight. But you'd better keep your word. Phil grinned, unaware he was walking into a trap. Past 10 p.m., when the divers searching for Mrs. Rose had gone home, Phil, assuming the village was asleep, grabbed black clothes to blend into the night. The river's current had calmed, perfect for searching. He quietly left, rowed to the spot where Mrs. Rose died, anchored his boat, and dove in. After a minute, out of breath, he surfaced, gasping. He'd been diving for over half an hour with no sign of the bracelet. Frustrated, he cursed, "Damn it, I'm diving like a dog and finding nothing." Suddenly, a hand holding the familiar gold bracelet appeared. A voice asked, "Young man, is this what you're looking for?" "Yeah, that's it," Phil said. "How'd you find it?" He looked up and froze. It was Mrs. Rose, the woman they'd killed the night before. Her face was deathly pale, her smile eerie, her voice chilling. "You dropped this last night. Take it back." Her face morphed, blood streaming from her head, soaking her frail features. Phil screamed, stammering, I don't want it. Get away." He scrambled for his boat, but an icy hand gripped his ankle, its coldness paralyzing him. He thrashed, but the grip tightened, pain intensifying. Mrs. Rose's laughter echoed, chilling. "Where are you going?" "Stay and play with me. I've been waiting for you two since morning." "No, please, spare me," Phil begged. "It wasn't my idea. Derek planned to push your granddaughter into the river, save her, and shame her to get back at her boyfriend. We didn't mean to kill anyone. Derek killed you, not me. Go after him, not me. Why didn't you spare me when I begged?" Mrs. Rose asked coldly. "No matter your reasons, you're heartless. Do you know what's most precious to a girl? Her dignity. You plan to ruin my granddaughter's honor, killing her spirit. If I let you go, can you swear you won't harm her again?" "I swear," Phil cried. "If I touch a hair on her head, let me die horribly." Mrs. Rose laughed bitterly. "Too late. Your promises and oaths mean nothing to me now." She squeezed his throat, like wringing a chicken's neck. Phil gasped, choked, and passed out. Mrs. Rose pushed his body onto the boat, drifting away, and whispered, "You'll pay for your sins." She vanished into the night, the wind howling as if mourning. Derek, at home, couldn't sleep, not out of concern for Phil, but worry over the lost bracelet. "If I don't find it, that guy'll humiliate me," he muttered. As dawn neared, he dozed off, only to be woken by his mother's screams. Rushing outside, he saw her distraught, listening to a neighbor. She waved him over. "Derek, quick, take me to the river's fork." Aunt Eight said they found Phil unconscious on a boat near where Mrs. Rose died. What if her vengeful spirit took him? "Hurry." Panicked, Derek obeyed. At the scene, Phil was being revived, his breathing faint but salvageable. Derek scanned him, no bracelet. He didn't find it, he thought. Mrs. Rose's bloated, reeking body had just been recovered, drawing a growing crowd. Nathan had been with Lily since hearing of Mrs. Rose's disappearance, staying to support her through this ordeal. His father, Mr. Henry, agreed, recognizing Nathan's maturity to make his own choices. Nathan brought Lily a bowl of porridge. "Eat, Lily. You've been grieving and crying without eating. You'll collapse if you keep this up." Her swollen eyes reflected unending sorrow. "Leave it there. I'll eat later." "Later when?" Nathan teased gently. "Eat now, so you have strength to keep crying." His light-hearted tone made Lily smile faintly. She nodded, but Nathan insisted, "Let me feed you." Shyly, she agreed, eating spoonfuls as he fed her. In her mind, she clung to her grandmother's dream, believing it held answers. Nathan, having heard the story from Aunt Clara, trusted it too, unlike skeptics who dismiss it as a mere dream. Both waited for something extraordinary. Aunt Clara and Ethan burst in, breathless. "Lily, I was at the market and heard they found your grandma's body at the river's fork. Go quick." Lily and Nathan didn't hesitate, jumping onto a hired motorboat and racing to the scene. The crowd parted for Lily, the victim's granddaughter. Police, after examining the body, concluded Mrs. Rose died from blunt trauma to the head and drowning. Hearing Mrs. Lily's cries for her son, Lily and Nathan were stunned to learn Phil was found unconscious on a boat beside Mrs. Rose's floating corpse. The eerie scene chilled everyone. Some assumed Phil, passing by, fainted from shock at seeing the body. With his faint pulse, villagers called for doctors and police. As police prepared to leave after the autopsy, Mrs. Lily shouted joyfully, "He's awake." Thank heavens. Phil, pale and dazed, scanned the crowd. Seeing Mrs. Rose's body, he screamed, pointing at Derek. "Don't choke me again. I didn't kill you, it was him. He hit your head with the paddle, ignoring your pleas. If you want revenge, take him, not me. I'm terrified." Derek, panicked, stammered, "Shut up. You're raving. I'm innocent." The crowd gasped. Police, still present, approached Phil. "Is what you said true?" Phil nodded frantically, recounting the night. "We clashed with Lily and her boyfriend. Humiliated, we planned to sink Lily's boat, save her, and shame her. But we hit Mrs. Rose's boat by mistake. She saw us, and Derek, fearing she'd talk, bashed her head until she sank. We fled. Last night, Derek lost a gold bracelet and sent me to find it since he can't swim. I met her, she tried to choke me. Officers, he's crazy." Derek protested. Mrs. Lily defended him, "My son's gentle, he'd never kill." Phil's delusional from fear. "We follow evidence," the police said sternly. "Both of you, come to the station for questioning. Search their home for evidence." Officers escorted Mrs. Lily's family, seizing their boats. Lily, witnessing it all, screamed, "You killed my grandma, you monsters." Nathan restrained her. "Calm down, Lily. The law will handle them. Let's bring your grandma's body home for her funeral." Lily, seeing reason, nodded, collapsing by Mrs. Rose's body, weeping. In the chaos, Derek tried to flee, but a chilling voice stopped him. "Where are you running?" Mrs. Rose's spirit appeared, making him stumble back in terror. "You can't escape, even to the ends of the earth. I'll drag you to justice. If not, I'll snap your neck myself, karma be damned." No one heard her, but Derek, fleeing, tripped and froze, staring into nothing. Police pinned him down, cuffed him, and took him away. At the station, Derek sat silent, refusing to speak. Fingerprints from Mrs. Rose were found on Mrs. Lily's boat, Phil's usual one. A gold bracelet was recovered at the crime scene, confirmed by Mrs. Lily as Derek's prized possession. Phil's account was validated. Despite Derek's denials, the evidence was undeniable. He confessed, detailing his motives and actions. The court sentenced him to 20 years for intentional injury causing death. The punishment didn't fully ease Lily's anger, but Mrs. Lily's family was ruined, Derek imprisoned, Phil institutionalized for insanity. Phil, since his arrest, rambled about being choked or attacked others, sometimes begging for mercy. With no options, Mrs. Lily tearfully committed him. To some, the sentence was too light, but for Lily, 20 years was enough to reform Derek, hoping he'd repent and contribute to society. Phil, though an accomplice, wasn't forgivable for hiding his brother's crime, yet his torment was punishment enough. At Mrs. Rose's funeral, the village mourned with Lily. Mrs. Lily, devastated, knelt before the coffin, apologizing for raising such sons. "I'm a failure as a mother," she wept. But no one controls fate. Parents birth children, but heaven shapes their nature. The next day, Mrs. Rose's body was cremated at the temple, her ashes kept there for daily prayers to aid her reincarnation. That night, she appeared in Lily's dream, wearing a long black dress, hair neat, resembling Lily. Beside her stood Lily's grandfather, parents, all smiling. "Why'd you cremate me?" Mrs. Rose teased, radiant with joy. Lily, speechless, only stammered. They vanished, leaving her grandmother's voice, "Remember my words. From the underworld, I'll watch over you. Each year, I'll return for a family meal. Nathan's a good man, he'll love and care for you forever. I wish you a life of peace and happiness." Tears rolled down Lily's cheeks, not of sorrow but of joy. She'd found Mrs. Rose's medical report in her wardrobe, revealing her bone cancer. Had she lived, she'd have endured excruciating pain. Her death, though tragic, spared her that suffering. 2 years later, Lily and Nathan married amid blessings from loved ones. The wedding was grand, fitting Nathan's status as heir to Willow Creek's largest fruit depot. They beamed, overwhelmed with joy. Unseen by Lily, 4 figures, her grandparents and parents, sat at an empty table, blessing her. True to Mrs. Rose's words, Nathan cherished Lily more than himself. Mr. Henry gradually handed the business to Nathan, who managed it with freedom. After years in trade, Mr. Henry's wealth ensured a comfortable life until his end. Yet, as the saying goes, the rivers and mountains may change, but human nature rarely does. In prison, Derek's arrogance persisted, clashing with inmates who beat him repeatedly. Once, fighting over food, he was nearly killed, finally learning restraint. His 20 years felt like a living death. Regretful, he vowed to do good post-release, but fate intervened. After 10 years, he was diagnosed with lung cancer and died before fulfilling his promise. Evil's consequences, sooner or later, always arrive. Phil, after treatment, calmed somewhat and returned home, requiring constant medication and limited outings. Now childlike, he played innocently, evoking pity. His fate taught others, heaven watches all deeds. Live well, lest impulsive acts harm others and yourself. Dear readers, our story ends here. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more tales. Farewell until we meet again.